Hey guys, it's Finding Prince Charming, Season 1, Episode 3, Sensing a Connection. The canary has turned into a vulture.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Finding Prince Charming recap. We are here to recap another wonderful show for you. Oh, whose phone is that? Who's unprofessional?
What?
That's you.
Well, feedback, Cam.
You want to hear my voice again?
You give people a show, they don't know how to act.
It's in the chat, guys.
I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by, once again, a big, large gaggle of gals. We have, to my far left...
Hey guys, it's Chris Valentine.
And hey, it's Grant's Rants.
Hey everyone, it's Jesse D'Angelo.
And still holding down the fort over on the couch seats area we have.
Yeah, I'm on my helicopter now. It's Jay Ellis here. Hi, guys.
All right, so before we get into it, we have the wonderful, funny, friendly guy who unfortunately got eliminated tonight on the phone with us live. Danique, how are you?
Hi, Danique.
Hi.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Miss Roberta finally Control-Alt-Deleted my ass out of the house.
We were stunned. I was so upset.
Not the Control-Alt-Delete.
Shocked and appalled.
So Danique, well, it looked like the wine tasting was going well. Everyone was having fun. Did you sense a connection with Robert while you guys were sitting there?
No.
Keep it real. Keep it
No
real.
connection at all, unfortunately. But, you have to give people the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to become, I didn't want to be judgmental.
Uh-huh.
When I first saw him, due to my past experiences, I saw him and I saw Pretty Boy WeHo, and, I, of course, rolled my eyes and almost lost the contact. But
Yeah.
I said, you know what? He did not judge me, and I should not judge him. And, I felt like we kind of gave each other a chance to kind of get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was a mutual decision kind of thing. Like, I felt that we just weren't a good fit. We didn't have a connection.
So you weren't surprised about the elimination at all?
No, I mean, I'm used to getting friend zoned for one, and then two, I just, I just wasn't really into him. I feel like it was a mutual kind of thing.
So what you're saying is you were into the wine more than you were into Robert.
Oh, honey, now let's not get it twisted. I was very, very excited about that vineyard.
You can tell.
I was really excited about the wine and the vineyard, but, he's such a cool guy. He seems, very, nice, but, connection is really, really important, and it just wasn't mutual, so.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not there.
Yeah.
I like that you just went for it. You said, when am I getting my time? Let's go right
Yeah.
now. I like
Yeah.
that.
I want
like
to walk around the park.
Yeah.
Well, I waited so long. I waited so long to talk to the Dream Boy. Everybody got to talk to him. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, so, I was ready. But, unfortunately, it just wasn't, a connection. But, don't cry for me, Argentina. I still be taking them down, honey. I still got my, sex life going.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's hear more about that.
Okay, well,
That's usually
You
my
always want to
job.
know. Yeah.
stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Hello,
We got
somebody.
exactly.
All right, hello.
We want to get the
Somebody.
ratings up, Danique, so tell us more about that.
You can't ask somebody to spill their sex tea on live on the air.
This is West Hollywood life, of
Y'all gonna
course.
have
It's
to wait out
apropos.
there,
You're supposed to talk about it in secret, though. We're
Oh.
ladies.
Danique, I have a question about how the challenge worked, because we were all kind of confused. The cards were passed out. Now, how was it decided who was going to which date? I think it was just me, but I missed something with
Completely
that.
lost on me.
Well, it was a little confusing, and I won't lie, it was a little high, but the thing was...
Is that going on in the house?
Huh?
Is that going down in the house?
No, of course not.
Okay, I'm just
another
saying.
show.
Just saying.
Never.
People are in and out of the pool room. You don't know, so I'm just asking.
So I guess like the cards we selected, and of course somebody stole from me, but the cards that we got selected kind of determined who went on a date and which date they went on, kind of thing. So because I believe I had the lip, was that it?
Yeah, the taste.
Yeah.
The taste. Okay, yeah, and so that kind of led. It was a hint, and it was like wine.
Right. Okay. And were you happy with the group that you got put on the date with?
What was that?
I'm obsessed with you.
Those are our sound effects.
This is amazing.
You know what? I like Dylan. Dylan and I bonded. We were cool. We were kind of like roommates for a little bit. I could not get into Chad or Paul.
Okay.
You know, Paul was like very like. I don't know. I couldn't get into them, but they, you know, I didn't have anything against them, but I just felt like they weren't as authentically open as some of the other housemates.
Yeah.
So, and because I'm not able to make a connection with them on that level, it kind of took me a little while to kind of, you know, get used to them. But, I mean, overall, it was fine. I just felt that, you know, real talk, the selections that Robert made kind of made me feel it showed a reflection of who he was.
Yes, that's what we were thinking
and
too.
And then also the fact that he had already kissed 2 people, I didn't want to get a lip bump. So I kind of was like...
You don't want to get the bum bump?
You know, I didn't want to get a lip bump, you know, because, you know, he was just kissing. So I was like, So I think it was the little things that just kind of made me feel... you know, it just made me kind of feel a little hesitant.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is such an unconventional way of dating.
Yeah.
So, and it's something that I went outside of my comfort zone, and I just wasn't really used to that whole type of thing. But I'm glad I did it, and it was a lot of fun, you know?
Now,
it was the only thing I haven't tried.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think about all the drama that was happening with Sam and Dylan?
Well, you know what, honey? This is what I do in real life. I avoid drama. I mean, it doesn't make good TV, but I avoid drama. But honey, I'm gonna watch.
Right.
I'm gonna look at it.
We saw you.
Oh no, there was
with that fishbowl of Pinot Gris.
Yes, you were sitting outside that room like, my name is Ben, and I ain't
I
in
was
it.
not gonna get involved, but honey, I was gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching out of my, you know, in my peripheral.
I think there's a fly in my wine.
That's cute.
How much
You know
time?
what? And
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I got the fly out my wine. It just got me in the glass. It wasn't a big deal.
How much time did you have with Robert? Was there anything that was not televised? Was there more time, or basically everything we saw real time?
No, I didn't have much time with Robert, to be honest. I felt like overall I probably had maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Wow.
And you either know it or you know, you kind of sense it or you don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously he didn't feel that way about me. But, you know, it's kind of whatever. He's a cool guy. He has a lot of stuff going for him. And, I'm sure he'll find someone that's more in alignment with, you know, happiness and what he thinks is, you know, ideal for him. So, you know, at the bottom of it, it's all about what he wants, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, Denise.
And honey, I skated and floated along for long enough, child. I felt like I was surprised I made it as far as I did.
I'm personally happy you did. You were fun to watch.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I was totally myself.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
That's
we
what we
can,
love.
we can tell.
Authentic.
Well,
for sure.
Denike, it was so sad to see you go tonight. Like, you were so fun, and you know, I totally sympathize with you as well. I get friend zoned all the time, so I totally know how you feel. But don't worry, as what people tell me all the time, your day is coming. I don't know what day that is, so don't ask me, but it's coming.
Well, it's a long time coming, child. 11 years is a little bit too long for me, but hopefully it'll go.
Well, after the show, just check your DM, because I'm pretty sure it's going to start blowing up very soon.
Well, like what Tiffany said, I'll be here with an open heart, open arm, open mind, open mouth, and open legs, honey. Waiting.
Tiffany, New York Pop. Oh, I knew I liked you.
Knick-knack that paddywhack and give it our song.
Yes.
Make that
Tiffany
kitty
New
cat
York.
clap.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a New York reference.
Oh my gosh. Well, Denise, thank you so much for joining us on our live recap, and we wish you all the best in finding your Prince Charming.
Oh, thank you. I need it all.
Yes.
You got it.
It's a long ass time.
Thank you again.
All right.
All right.
Y'all have a
Thanks,
good
Denise.
evening. I'll
Love
talk to
you,
y'all
Denise.
later.
See ya.
Yes.
Soon or whatever.
Bye. Oh, that was nice
He's
having
so
him
sweet.
on.
So real,
Super
so
sweet.
real.
Just like on the show.
Yes. All right. So let's get to this show and let's talk about the elimination. Everyone was very surprised that Jason went home. I think we touched on this last week.
Oh, last week.
Yeah. Were you guys surprised, shocked at all? Because the shock came from the fact that Jason came and thought the date went amazing, and then apparently there was not any chemistry.
Right. You know, we were commenting on Paul's reaction. He kind of had a funny face on.
Paul always
Yeah.
has the
I saw it a couple
hope-
times tonight.
I hope
Yeah.
all season they just keep the camera on Paul and his reactions because
Yeah.
his reactions are classic.
Well, there's a confessional in the house, and they release these videos. They're very short clips, and they're on Logo's Logo's website.
LogoTV.com.
Yeah, exactly. And he was saying that it was the initial day right after, he was still really emotional and raw about it. And he said, like, oh, I can't believe that we're starting to actually lose people that are really here for him. Like, I really felt like he came home from his date, he was so into it. This was referenced in this episode. He was in such good spirits and really thought he was confident, but it just shows like the reality was setting in, like anyone could go at any time. So that's why he was so emotional. And he's still reeling from this in today's show.
Yeah. Well, somebody has to go home, and unfortunately, it was
That's
It's
Jason.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't force a connection or chemistry, and if it just wasn't there,
not
then
there.
Well, when we get to news and notes, I have some things about that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this luck of the draw that was finally cleared up by Denise.
Yeah, right.
So Lance comes in and says that the guys will draw cards to determine who gets a date with Robert. And I thought it was just going to be 2 people, but apparently it was a whole bunch of people.
Right.
So for the first date, which was Touch, Sam and Justin got that. And then for the second date, Dylan, Paul, Chad, and Danique, who all got Taste, got that card. How did you guys feel about the way it was chosen
The
for
whole
them to
thing
get a
in
date?
general, I'm like, couldn't you just have drawn straws? Because why did the people who didn't go on the date even get a card? It didn't even mean anything. They were given a sense that they picked, and that just
Well,
that
I
sense
think
meant
it-
you didn't go on a date.
I think what they were trying to do was, with it being luck of the draw,
Like a lottery or
Yes,
something.
Yeah.
but it also, if you had the date, it's a hint as to what your date was going to.
Right.
And do you think that they'll
Include.
carry that storyline into the next episode with the people that had those other cards, maybe get to go those other senses, or that was just for that episode?
I think it was just for that,
Yeah.
just to throw
Okay.
them off.
I thought it was kind of a cheap way to sort people out, but I also had a flashback to, if we mentioned earlier, Flavor of Love, where they had a segment where you were to win a date and you had to do stuff to Flav using his senses.
Very good.
So I was like, this would be like great, like they're following like the old school rule book, but no.
I thought it was going to be like that. I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it might have been fun, all right. Y'all remember that Finding Prince Charming After Dark show that we was talking about? That's what y'all trying to do.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to get the touching and the kissing and the licking and all that kind of stuff. Y'all nasty.
And they did it for Flav.
Well,
they do
those
anything
cards
with
were a
Flav.
little suggestive. I thought one of them, the nose didn't quite look like a nose to me, but we won't go there.
Chris, you already know my little nickname for you.
I know I'm going to be stuck with it the whole season, I
look
think.
like a
But
nose.
somebody's got to add some spice to the show, right? And that's what I'm here for.
You are given all the paprika and the cayenne pepper of this show.
I'm with you though.
And I love your comments on YouTube after.
All right, so let's talk about the first date, which was acrobatic yoga, which, by the way, I'm just going to say, if I pulled this card, I would have been like, this is not meant for voluptuous girls like myself.
In
I
a
would say
barn.
good luck,
At a barn?
Robert.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, you're not got a studio? Come on.
Right? Like Red Yoga works for like an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
it worked
By
for
the
Sam,
hour.
though. It worked for Sam, Tony, and if you're on your back, then it could have worked. You wouldn't have had to be in. Justin, of course, was up top, but it was, for the big guys,
See, I want to see Robbie in this. I think he would have had a great time.
Who?
Right. I
Robbie?
agree.
Robbie,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Robbie is the glue
You can throw him
of the
around,
show.
you know? You can throw him around.
Yeah,
We have to keep Robbie on the show, and I'm telling you, Robbie is going to get his own show for sure.
Robbie is fabulous.
You are amazing,
Yeah.
Robbie. We love you.
So Sam and Justin were on this date. Justin felt like he had this in the bag because he secretly, has done acrobatic yoga before, which I don't know which gym has this or how you could
Is that a
have done
class
this
pass
already.
thing?
Right. But he had already done it before. Sam was a little worried and was kind of struggling just a bit, but he was really trying to make a connection with Robert, and Robert actually pulled him aside to just kind of talk. But the conversation was taken over with asking him about what Dylan had told him on the beach. How did you guys feel about that conversation and Robert bringing that up?
I mean, I just felt for Sam because, like you said, the conversation went right to Dylan, and Sam had felt like they hadn't developed any sort of a true connection yet, so he was really excited to take stock of this moment and maybe build that connection, and then just goes right to Dylan.
Yeah.
And what he said on the beach. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
You're seeing a pattern where Robert is picking these people to talk about other people, and in Sam's defense, it's just you're on a date saying, "Here's I'm here to talk to you," and then it's just I want to talk about this person, and I would just be completely turned off and shut down at that point and be
Yeah.
like, I don't want to talk to you about that. So
I wish they would say that. I wish they would say, the date is about us, let's focus on us.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it does seem to be happening in every episode.
I would turn it around to Robert and say, if you don't want to be here, then you don't have to
Yeah,
be here. Like
exactly.
he keeps saying to people.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, I agree with you guys. On a date, you don't want to talk about someone else or exes or politics or anything like that. So
The no-nos.
yeah. So I think if I were in Sam's situation, I would have said, I would rather talk about you, and then maybe toss him a question like, so what do you enjoy doing besides this acrobatic yoga that I'm not good at?
Well, Sam supposedly owns a fitness, or he works for a fitness company, or has his own fitness company. And I kind of noticed the promo on the T-shirt. That was nice, a logo to let him do that. But you would have thought maybe he would be a little bit more physical and maybe know a little bit more about yoga. But it was Justin scored again. I mean, he got that first date, the second date. So he's so far pretty lucky.
How are we feeling about Robert and Justin? Because I'm actually starting to like them together.
Yes, I think Justin is top 2.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make it all the way to the end. I think people didn't see it coming, but I think he is Robert's type and he's going to go far.
They are playing him a lot, with the interviews and screen time. So that could be potentially, where it could go.
I don't know. I don't see it with him and Justin.
Really?
Not really. Well, I don't know. It's not. They just don't hit the same chord with me as when I still see him with Paul or Chad. Am I getting his name?
Yeah.
I just see them more together than I think. Justin is a little too alternative, even though he's really not. But just for Robert's taste, I see him as a little bit more maybe it's just the bleached hair.
What does alternative mean? What does that mean?
I think for me, it's Chad and Paul are a different stage of life than Justin, and I think that's the stage where Robert is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the vibe I'm getting.
I agree.
I mean, I like what the connection they've had the last episode and then tonight's episode. But I'm not sure if I see them together going the distance. I think he'll definitely be around at least till the
agree.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least top 4, I want to say. But
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the second date, I do want to just give a quick shout out to all of you who are watching live, including 2 of the suitors that I see lurking around in our chat. So a little shout out to Dylan and also Paul for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Paul, I chose you, Paul, from the very first episode. I think you're going to be the one he marries, or you marry. Okay. I see that.
Wow.
So that's what I think.
To
Anyways.
the altar.
Oh, and before we go to the second date, let me just say this. We had this opportunity in the barn. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Oh, yes.
Here comes
that-
a little nasty.
All that hay. I mean, come
here
on.
we go.
You have, a 2-minute date? We could have milked a little bit more. Producers, maybe get them to roll around in the hay a little bit?
Justin didn't
On the
take it.
second date, you little nasty.
Well, you could do a kissing. You don't have to go, I don't know what
Well,
you're
the
thinking.
ball was in
Well,
Justin's court.
The rolling around in the hay that you were just suggesting.
That's just wrestling.
That's how it starts.
That's how it all starts.
That's how a lot of things start. Oh, let's just wrestle.
It's singlets.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Being the Christian woman that I am, I know none of it.
Okay.
Tony's never wrestled in
But he sure knew when
Never.
Rent was pulled down.
Because
Rat
I
boys.
do research. That's called research. I am an expert host and reporter, and I know my facts.
Nancy Drew.
Figuring it out like Nancy Drew.
Realness. But Robert later in the episode did mention that he kind of wanted Justin to initiate the kiss.
I like that.
But then he also felt like he missed out on an opportunity to initiate it too. So
That's
I
right.
mean, listen, you know, if you like it, love it, go for it.
Don't wait. Life is so short.
Yeah,
Go
that's
for
true.
it.
Don't wait and don't assume
Just kiss
someone's
'em.
going to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't assume, especially when you're dating.
But again, like I was gonna say, but a barn is so not a sexy place in my eyes. Like I would get a kiss in the vineyard. Like
Have you smelled
that's
a barn? Like,
yeah, right.
That's true. They were right
and
in
you're
front of
looking
like a
at
horse.
like horse asses. Like it's just not like setting a mood for me.
like they
Clean,
could have had
fresh.
them again. This is another flavor of
Okay.
love date reference, but they could have had them crush grapes.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, that would have been fun.
Right?
A little
Yeah.
Lucille
Then you
Ball.
just
That was
smell
just
freaking
on
grape
it,
juice
like 2
instead
days
of
ago.
Yeah.
That episode.
animal crap.
Right.
Yeah. I am with you on that.
Also, Dylan, who's in our chat, just informed me that also Robbie and Danique are in the chat as well.
Oh
so
my God.
we got a few people in there
We
watching.
I love
All-star
this.
Gavin
cast.
Talk
Ellis
about a
keeps
gag.
growing.
Yeah, I know, right?
And
Gavin.
Paul says, "Thank you for the vote of confidence, Chris."
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm rooting for you.
He is, yes.
He really is.
All right, so let's get to the second date, which is the wine tasting. Now, with the second date, again, we had Dylan, Paul, Chad, and Danique. What did you guys think about this date with Robert and the four of them?
This is more the pace of what I want to see for a date. Like, especially if you're doing a group date, I feel like this is the appropriate setting, and it's a little bit more romantic. The pulling them away just seemed very like we didn't get to see if the guys were talking while Robert was away with the other guys. I would have liked to see what their interaction was, if they were concerned about what was being said.
Yeah.
We just weren't getting that with other shows I've seen. Like they kind of show like the people
Yeah.
like trying to peek around the bush.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
cut too.
Yeah.
I agree
Right.
though with the setting. It was so beautiful,
So
so
pretty.
romantic. The sun was setting, hitting their skin. Everybody looked beautiful.
Was this Malibu wine?
That's what I wanted to ask
because
next.
they do everything at Malibu wine.
I wanted-
I don't think it was Malibu wines.
I wanted to ask
saw
Danique when
the
he
name.
was
I'm
on.
curious. It was
I
like-
was going to ask Danique,
didn't
and I thought,
catch.
well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not allowed to say where they do this because all these locations, I want to know where it was.
It was on
They
the bottle. It was
bad.
like La Espona or something like that.
We'll look it
Oh,
up.
okay.
We'll do our
I just
research.
made it
I'm
up.
curious. Yeah.
What did you say?
La Espona? I think that's what it said. It was 2 words and it looked
Yeah.
something.
And I
like
thought I
that.
was going to
missed
ask
it.
you.
Pinot Grigio.
Well, listen, if you are the wine venue that
2014.
was so lucky enough to be able to sponsor this date, we would love to come over.
Oh my gosh.
I love a
okay,
glass
working
of
it.
I feel like I'm always going to plug the businesses to be like, if you want us to come check it out too, just so we can get a Finding Prince Charming experience, let us know. You guys mentioned earlier that Robert kept being pulled away by the guys. The first guy that Robert actually pulled away was Chad to talk about him and how emotional he got. And Chad said that he felt overwhelmed. And Robert actually said he kind of gave him an out, like if you're uncomfortable, then please, by all means leave. But Chad said that he was now very comfortable. He just has trust issues with, I think, that's a lot I
believe that when he
I
said
did
that.
too. I believed him. Yeah, that was a good moment between the two. I think it reset, and he needed that.
That's
He
what it
did.
did
He
for me
did
too,
need to
'cause-
be resetted.
Yeah.
Did it. Yeah. And then Paul steals Robert away and says that he felt a little jealous when Robert went away with Chad.
I think Robert loved that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that it's too soon to start having these kind of feelings and connections with someone?
No. You know me, I like it to move a little faster.
Yeah.
And by the end, Chad was like, aghast that Paul had a kiss. So it's going back and forth between them. But I like, in a way, though, that Robert is taking it slow and not kissing everybody on the cast right away, because that would be untoward. And it's like, let's make it a special moment. When I feel it. If you notice, though, I feel like Robert wants to be the one that's more aggressive with the other guys. And when Dylan came at him, it was like, no, that was not, he did not seem to appreciate, I don't think anybody would appreciate that aggressiveness, but I think the guys that he's going to like are manly, but he can also be the one that can go toward them and be the aggressor too. I like that he gave on the last date that opportunity for the other guy to come in, but it seems like he's more comfortable at this stage choosing who he wants to kiss, and I'm glad he's not kissing everybody.
Well, and I'm also glad that when it comes to the kisses, he says that you know, he just doesn't want to kiss everyone. He wants it to be special, and he wants it to mean something, and he doesn't want to send a mixed message. Now, speaking of kisses, now during this second date, Dylan took Robert aside and out of nowhere went in for a kiss, but he got like a kiss and then a peck and then a cheek. And I watched you, like, we all had the same reaction of like, yeah.
It just happened right on, very
So
full on.
How did you guys feel about that moment?
Well, my thing is, I feel like for Dylan going in for the kiss, I feel like he'd been that way so far with his actions. You know, we talked about how
Just
he
very
came off as maybe
straightforward.
more aggressive. Yeah, he's always the first one to say hello or pull him at the pool party on the premiere. So I don't think it was out of this world for him to go in for the kiss, because Robert, I feel like, made it seem like he liked that about him so far.
It was the next logical step.
Look,
Yeah.
He did it from day one. Yeah.
it's a competition. If you're into him, then go for it.
Yeah.
Like, to claim your man, as New York did for 3 seasons.
Yeah, and I mean, we were just talking about this earlier. Like, you know, if you like it, love it, go for it. And
Yeah.
Dylan went for it. Now, unfortunately, Robert didn't take the bait, but it was kind of a little bit of an awkward moment. But he tried to redeem himself later, and we'll get into that. And we're on the fence whether or not he was able to redeem himself or not.
What a kicked confidence of you. Like, if you go in for a kiss and then you think, like, another one, and it's like a cheek, you're like, ow,
Yeah.
okay.
And the whole nation's watching.
Oh, that would have
It's not
destroyed me. I
just
would've
at a
been
bar.
like, never
See,
again.
I like to be for sure. Like, let me tell you, when I press these lips up against yours, it's a for sure thing.
I'm gonna know.
Yeah, you don't, trust me, you don't want to give me the cheek to these lips, because these lips are magical. They've done some things. Christian
Who's being a little
things.
nasty? Okay.
You gotta add that little plug.
Exactly.
And when Danique was on the phone, he said he also got some time with Robert as well, and it was about 10 to 15 minutes that he had.
Yeah.
I thought they had a nice connection with each other, like with the pimple, and they were laughing, and it seemed very light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Robert was going to keep him at least for a few more rounds. I thought there was a connection there. You know,
I did too.
I was stunned later.
I mean, hearing from Danique, it sounds like he wasn't into it, so I think it was probably for the best that he just
Yeah.
left at this point. Because, I mean, if this show is about love, it's not money or competition, then, like, you know, get out of it if you're not into it.
Yeah.
Save yourself the, you know, go watch TV or, like, use your phone. I don't
In
know.
the moment, though, he
Oh.
looked like he really enjoyed the day, and
Yeah.
he felt it went great after, too.
But you
He
could
was
be
so
like a
happy.
good. I can have that conversation with friends too, like, and then it's just not a romantic. You know, you don't have that click.
Right.
Oh, I say stay, get the camera time, promote your projects, build a following, and
That's
put
right,
it into a
Grant.
business.
See,
Exactly.
you would be the type of person that Dylan was talking about. You're not here for the right reasons. You're not there to plug your project.
I'm
You're
here for
there-
the right reasons for
You
Grant.
can do both.
See, but
Grant's
that's not the right
rant.
reasons for the show. See, I, on the other hand, would have been there for the right reasons. To be there to find love and to grow with one person.
And I'll cash some checks.
See,
Such a bitch.
And I would do it
such a
all.
bitch.
Why can't you be a winner at everything, right?
There you go.
Okay.
That's true.
y'all, I can't take y'all. So after the wine tasting, Robert gets invited back to the house, which I was actually surprised he went.
Do you
Yeah.
think the producers prompted them to ask that question? Do you want
Yes.
to come back to the house?
Yes.
Thank you, because that's what I was thinking. Nothing is really too unplanned in reality.
See,
shows.
y'all like to dive in too deep. I'd like to just watch the show
I
with
love a
open
deep dive.
arms, and if
Take
you
it
know,
for what it is.
if for what it is, if they've approached the product, I don't know why. Because I didn't see a producer come in and say, "Hey, ask him if
I
he
love
wants
a
to go
deep
back to the
dive.
house."
I heard. I saw.
Y'all the nasty section of it. Y'all the old nasties over here.
We know how it
Old.
works. There's hours and hours of filming, and these things are
Exactly.
planned out
Yeah.
so far in advance that it seemed strange to me that Robert would just, I'll come to the house tonight.
I mean, I worked on one
It
of
might
these
have happened
shows.
that way. Exactly.
Yeah, so I just have that mindset of how did
Me
they
too.
get this together? That's I'm just thinking logistically.
I worked on so
too
many
much.
shows, and it's
much,
so
yeah.
planned out.
But
so.
sometimes, you know, for the sake of just being a viewer, sometimes you just have to watch the show and just take it for what it is.
Absolutely.
That's hard.
Enjoy.
It's hard sometimes.
And,
but yeah.
and just enjoy it. So Robert
Yeah.
went back to the house. I was surprised that he went. Who were behind the scenes happened, I don't know. But what I saw was a question asked. He accepted, and then now he's at the house hanging out with the guys. really quick before we go to Robert at the house, let's talk about the guys who didn't get a date, which were
Robbie, Brandon, and Eric, which
Thank
is
you.
where I would want to be. They were having fun.
They were having so much fun. They had like Robbie had set up Robbie's day salon, and we're doing nails and doing haircuts.
So cute.
I'm surprised he wasn't doing spray tans
Those
too.
are the three who should have.
Well, listen, he's in the beauty business. He showed his wares off. I mean, that would look professional manicure going on there. I like how he showed doing the stripe in his hair. He's uncovering all the beauty secrets. And he's such a gentleman in every episode. He's so
Enjoy
much-
your nails.
Yeah, next.
Next.
That was honestly when I watched those three, I was like, I think that's where I would want to be. And like instead of the yoga, I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't. I'm not a huge wine guy, so
Me
I'd want to
neither.
be at the salon.
Me too. Getting myself ready for when Robert came to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we didn't know was coming.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
but
Okay.
if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's
Done said that twice during this
right.
episode. Y'all gonna take that advice.
And everyone ran to go brush their teeth.
I would. I would.
Oh, of course, I would have done the same thing.
Real
I would
moment.
have
First things first.
ran, brushed teeth, got my face. And I mean, I don't have to do much. I need just about 2 minutes. That's about
Right.
it. But I would have, got myself
I
together.
need a half an hour for
printable.
hair and makeup.
Oh, see, y'all take too long.
Yeah,
y'all
you
would've
missed the whole thing.
Y'all would have missed the boat.
Yep.
So one thing that Robert said when he got to the house was how cute Robbie was in his glasses, and that they have that in common.
You have that in common too. Isn't it crazy? I like water, and I think Robert likes water, so I think we have that in common. I mean, that.
How are you not on the show?
I tried it.
I rolled my eyes because I was like, if that's what you're like a common denominator of what you're basing, like how cute something is.
I know.
I wear glasses at night too. Like, come on, it's not a match.
That moment for me was like, oh, it's favorite color blue. Mine too. I'm wearing a blue tank top. Like I was like, all right, okay. Well, like it was. I mean,
More
but that
in-depth.
was a notable awkward moment between the both of them. So
Yeah, I just didn't like that. Robert was like, Robbie looked cute. Like that should have just been like end of sentence. Like,
Robbie looked cute. He wears glasses. I wear glasses. Me and Robbie are the same.
yeah.
Y'all are so mean.
I am. Sorry.
We're just teasing.
Maybe I'm.
Mean.
I thought it was.
You
cute.
love your man.
I thought it was cute too.
Okay.
You're so
thought it was
good-hearted,
cute.
Tony.
What?
You're so pure of heart.
Because
I know.
I'm a Southern boy. That's why. That's
From
what makes
where?
me so nice. South Carolina.
From the East Coast,
I
so-
was in North Carolina for 5 years, so we're
Salty-
neighbors.
Salty
Neighbors.
Los Angeles.
just being an East Coast bitch tonight.
We want you to be. We want you to be Grant.
So Robert actually decided to spend more time with Paul in Paul's room.
Yep.
Very telling. Very
mean,
telling though.
Hint after hint after hint. Go ahead.
You know, when you're in the room with a group of people and there's one person you have your eye on, you give them the time. You always have that one-on-one. So I was not surprised by that.
I always say you make time for the things you want to make time for.
Yep.
And I'm like, Paul, he says, can we go to your bedroom? I'd like to see your bedroom. Can we go to your bed? And like, finally, he has to grab you and take you to the room.
His eyes get so lit up when he talks about a bed.
But Paul, you should have known. You should have gotten that hint right
Jorge.
away. Robbie wants to go with you to your bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. I had
So,
to-
and then in the bedroom, there was a lot of opening up. Paul, opened up about what happened with
Right.
his fiance and showed a very vulnerable moment to Robert, which, I liked that moment. And Robert liked it, loved it, went for it, and kissed Paul.
Yeah.
So with that, we know that Robert is definitely feeling Paul. I mean, who wouldn't feel Paul?
Was this our second kiss? It was Justin and now Paul.
Yeah, it's
Technically the
just
third if you count Dylan.
if you count.
Right. I'm
Doesn't
not
count
counting
kiss.
that.
Okay, we're not counting.
Because that didn't seem like a
So two and a half.
two-sided.
2.5. Yeah, we'll go 2.5.
Two and a
Okay.
half.
I focus.
so and he went for it. I mean, Robert took the initiative.
I mean, he got up. He got up out his chair.
I'm gonna go
Exactly.
shady though.
Yeah.
He was probably comfortable with some cameras in the bedroom.
Oh,
Oh, okay. You're helping me out
nasty,
here.
little shady.
Just a little
I
shade.
love it.
Just a little shade.
I love
So
it.
shade.
Did
See,
you
that's
guys
how you
notice
block
their-
your blessings.
Their kissing styles seemed a little different. I feel like Robert's a pecker.
that's what I was saying.
he's
I'm
a
like,
bird.
it's so
Yeah,
hold on.
awkward.
That's
He's
all
the
right,
king of
though.
rage.
Did you
notice?
see the
That's
kiss
fine.
though? It was like tongues. I mean, Paul's tongue was coming out of his mouth.
No, I saw that,
Do
but
the
Robert was
replay.
pecking.
No. Do the replay because I saw some tongue action. This was a full-on
Can we roll
kiss.
this?
Let's go to a clip.
James, can we go to a
I
clip?
wish it's so closer.
I did write the same exact thing though, Jesse. I said I don't know if because when I've watched Robert, and you can see how somebody is kissing, and I'm like, he doesn't seem like the type of kisser I would want to kiss.
Who?
He likes to
Robert.
peck you and then pull away and look at you and see how you're responding. to
What was that like?
Right? He's like, you want it again? Like when a girl gets kept so hard, it's like,
I'm totally cool with that. 'Cause you're gonna gotta come up for air every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, it's
No,
all
I
right.
said
Yeah,
that.
but every
You're
5
testing. You gotta
milliseconds.
make sure the other person's okay
No,
with it.
I lead with lips because I have so much of them. So when I go in for a kiss, it is all lip. And let me tell you, the people that I have kissed in the past have not pulled back for air at all.
I'm saying
Five-star
I don't.
rating.
That's what I says. I don't do subtle. Right. I know.
Yeah.
Work.
It sounds like a commercial.
Sometimes it lip. I sympathize with Denise. Sometimes you got to advertise and promote yourself so that you don't get friend zone.
Exactly. I thought that was an offer.
true.
So everybody on
Now
YouTube,
wait a minute. Now, that's not an offer for everybody. Now it's not an offer, but I gotta feel a connection. I gotta feel that chemistry. Speaking of connections, so we had another little connect with not like a connection, but just two people talking. Dylan and Robert. Dylan took Robert away for another conversation about Sam and how he's a bully, how people in the house are not here for the right reasons. What is your take? And we have to do this quickly because we have to wrap up pretty soon. We still have the black tie affair and all the Dylan drama. What did you guys feel about this conversation with Dylan and Robert?
the canary has turned into a vulture. I want to say real fast, Sam, thank you for bringing the drama. We love that Italian. At least I like the Italian temper there. Keep doing it. Well, you know, we'll see what happens. But anyways, I love that part of the episode. That was the best part.
Personally, I would have liked to maybe see more of what Dylan was referencing. I don't think they showed enough. Like, we saw Sam and Robbie in the premiere, but after that, I didn't really see much, you know, fighting going on with Sam and whoever, but then we just see Dylan talking about it, and I'm not saying I don't believe him, I just wish that the show would show that as well.
And
while
Sam and
Dylan's
Robbie
saying
were
this.
fine, because Robbie's like, why would make you even say that? So we clearly, Sam and Robbie had made up, and...
Yeah, so it wasn't that anymore.
Right.
No.
But see, this is what I thought. I felt like Dylan did his due diligence on the beach, saying like, listen, there are some people in the house that are not here for you and here for the right reasons. I would have left it at that. I would have allowed people to show themselves and to show their true colors, because everything is going to come out. At that point, it's like, listen, just trying to help you out. Watch
Less
your back.
is more. Yeah.
Now, on to me. But I think in Robert's eyes, it kind of made Dylan look a little crazy, which I'm sure that's not how Dylan is trying to come across. He's trying to come across as like, listen, I'm looking out for you. However, you don't need to do that every time you're with Robert. You just need to just say, hey, watch your back.
Yeah.
Now let's go have some drinks and have fun.
Right.
And it was sad to hear that Robert left because of that
He
reason.
ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. So, and then more drama ensued with Sam and Dylan. And Sam, I feel like Sam was so in his head, and he was what's the word? Like lacking confidence and a little insecure, because watching the conversation, he got in his head and thought everything was about that. Obviously, the conversation was about him, but I think there's a way to handle it, and I think he flew off the handle. Now, I felt like maybe some wine kind of made me set him over the edge. But he confronted Dylan, said that he was a snake, a bitch.
Sheep.
You're a snake, you're cheap, you're effing weak.
Yes. And then
Explicit.
spit in his face.
Yeah.
No.
What did you guys feel about,
No.
how did you guys feel about the spit in the face?
I mean, even on the Housewives, they don't spit. They may throw a wine or whatever, but that was like nothing I have ever seen on television. I was like, oh my gosh, he didn't just do that. I mean, I loved you, Sam, when you're running up the hall screaming. That was great, but that was too much for me.
It was unwarranted. Yeah.
Spitting in someone's face is such a huge sign of disrespect, and it should never be done. And I commend Dylan for not like clocking him in his face, because I think that's anyone's natural reaction is to be like,
Definitely.
Yeah,
like
you're
really
done.
quick.
What I think is that because they tell you cannot punch or you're thrown out of the house, so that is your first, like, what can I do to embarrass you, and just like that's your, like, we've seen it on reality shows, like that is just the ultimate, like,
They should
slap
add
in the
that
face
to
without
list.
slapping you in the
They
face.
should add it to the list of that's the same thing as hitting somebody. You're off the show.
Well, I think if he didn't volunteer to go home, they would have sent him
Sent
home
him
anyway.
home.
There's no way that's...
Oh, really?
And
I'm happy that he followed through with going home too. Sam, like, I'm happy that he wasn't like, I'm packing my bags.
Sam,
Yeah,
are
and I'm
you
going to sit at the
He's
top of the
really out.
staircase and wait to see who
I
asks me
keep
what's wrong.
thinking, is he going to come back? Because I can't imagine the show without Sam. You know?
If he didn't
wonder
spit...
too.
I just thought
wonder.
it was team too much. It was too much. It was no need for that. Like, don't be so insecure. Be in the moment. Like, there was no reason for all that drama to.
Do you accept the apology though? He's like right after in the confessional.
Well, he felt remorse. He regretted what he did. Like,
does that help your feelings on how you feel about Sam, or is it just
me?
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like Sam is too much, and I think he shouldn't have done it.
Okay.
See, I'm wondering if there's something else in play here that we didn't see. If there was another moment or something that was not played out. You know, we know the cameras aren't there overnight. It's not Big Brother. So, what else is it? Just what we saw that created that whole name calling and that moment in the bedroom? And there was a lot of anger coming from Sam. So,
yeah.
From what else?
Well, keep the wine pouring, first of all. I do like all the drama. I think that's what reality shows should be about. You want to have a lot of drama.
You want to have some drama, but not too much drama.
Well, the
Not
spit,
spitting,
I don't count
yeah.
the spit. I will never condone that. But as far as everything else that happened, he's in the hot tub yelling, he's getting out, he's running up the stairs. You know, that's all great reality to me.
No. Well, we have to wrap things up very shortly, so I'm just going to breeze through this really quick. Okay. Hold your horses, bear with me. So Lance informs Robert about the Dylan and Sam fight and that Sam left. Robert is very surprised. Robert, but Robert feels like with Dylan, Robert did mention that he felt like Dylan has shown his true colors. So there was a little worry whether or not Dylan would be going home. During the black tie affair, we had Paul, Eric, Chad, Robbie, Justin, and Dylan all stay, including Brandon, who Robert said, "I forgot that you were even here."
I'm not kidding.
Brandon did a little giggle, and he was like, "No, I'm serious." And I was like, "Poor thing, you better pull up before Jay comes in and like."
Yeah, I don't think Jay forgot he was on the show.
Jay didn't forget.
Not at all. But I did think that it was a great thing for Brandon to give Robert his sobriety necklace and say,
a nice
you know,
gesture.
I will, like, it basically was a sign of, like, I'm here. Don't forget me. We'll talk about this when we have another opportunity in space and time to talk about it.
He's playing the game like that. He made a good move
I don't
to
think
save
he had
himself.
to, but yeah, he did it right.
Yes. And then, unfortunately, we saw Danique go home, which
Shocker. I really thought it was going to be Dylan. I
great to
was
see.
like, what just happened? It seemed so obvious that Dylan should be the one to have gone home. Danique is such a sweetheart. You know, keep him around for a few more. I thought there's a little connection going there, but what can you do?
But I mean, unfortunately, you know, it wasn't there for Danique, and Robert had already kind of put him in the friend zone. So I mean, it wasn't going to be there. Like, Danique would have been there to sip wine with his friends.
And you know, we did kind of think about body type. Do you notice there's a trend with every person that's being sent home has a certain body type, and maybe did that come into play? You know what I'm saying?
Calling Robert shallow, perhaps?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't say that. I'll leave that to you. But there seems to be a lot of thin people left on the show now. So I don't, you know.
There's still, I still think there's a different variety, though, with ages and people and places in life. People and places in life.
Yeah. Well, listen, at the end of the day, we just hope that Robert chooses what's best for him.
I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he will, too. All right, and unfortunately, that's all we have. We can't even get to news and gossip or predictions, so we'll save it for next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you so much to all the suitors that tuned into our live show as well.
Guys.
I really appreciate that.
Love having you.
Shout out once again to Dylan, Robbie, Danique, and Paul, who are all in our chat. Thank you so much, and to our fans for checking us out, too. Before we head out, let everyone know where they can find you via social media.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at AKA Golden Boy and my website, chrisvalentine.la, with all the social media links.
And you guys can find me on my new bid chat show, Grant's Rants Hollywood Live, BIDCHAT, October 4th. And you can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants.
You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Jesse J. D'Angelo.
And Jay.
I still have a residency in Vegas, so I'm there, guys. And then Instagram is don't_be_jealous, JELLIS, and Twitter is still_jealous, JELLIS.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. And you can find us next week for another recap of Logo TV's Finding Prince Charming right here on AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.